Continuing our reading of Masochism and Atonement from R.J. Rushdoony's The Politics of Guilt and Pity. Thus, sickness is an offering of atonement for sin. Ancient medical practice, whatever its faults, often recognized this aspect of atonement. The sickness is nonetheless physical for having had a spiritual origin. Psychosomatic medicine is now an established branch of medical knowledge. Second, gambling is a common and popular exercise in masochism. The gambler knows that the odds are against him. He gambles to lose, with an unconscious will to lose, to punish himself for his guilt and cleanse, although vainly, his conscience. The real winnings of the gambler, according to Burglar, quote, are paid in the intrapsychic coin of psychic masochism, which is, after all, what he has bargained for, unquote. According to a report made to this writer by a dealer in a major Nevada gambling house, losing is the rule, and winners, so-called, are liars. This dealer claimed that $20 could be handed to each person entering the premises without loss, that people who win insistently gamble until they lose. He stated further that he had seen only one gambler leave the premises a winner, a man who was so drunk that he passed out while still ahead. His conclusion was, they play to lose. While this may be in part an overstatement, it is essentially true. Third, alcoholism is another form of self-punishment, and marriage to a known alcoholic is similarly masochistic activity. When an alcoholic quits drinking, his major problem is often his wife, who is outraged at being robbed of her cross. The result is erratic behavior on her part and irresponsible conduct as she seeks a new form of self-punishment and another cross to bear. Some will deliberately try to drive the man back to drink in order to regain their precarious and fallacious peace of mind. Fourth, still another form of masochism, is burden-bearing. The burden-bearer will play the role of public saint in order to atone for private guilt. The more unpleasant the public role, the more desirable its function for purposes of atonement. As a result, the guilty rich will indulge in philanthropy, and the guilty white men will show love and concern for Negroes and other such persons who are in actuality repulsive and intolerable to them. In one academic community, the prominent public saint was a faculty wife who moved about ironing and cooking for sick or newly delivered wives of graduate students, although she had never cooked a meal for her family or done their laundry because such services were beneath her social status. Self-conscious burden-bearing, public works of virtue, worry and fretting, worship or penance, all serve as devices for self-atonement, as forms of do-it-yourself salvation. Fifth, injustice collecting has been rightly described by Reich and Burglar as an important aspect of masochism. The injustice collector systematically finds pleasure in displeasure, places himself in positions where he will be sure to feel offended, and then self-righteously see himself as one sinned against and hence innocent. Burglar, in the context of his Freudian faith, which we cannot accept, has described the schedule of the injustice collector thusly. A. Through their behavior or the misuse of an external situation, neurotics unconsciously provoke disappointment and refusal, identifying the outer world with the refusing pre-Oedipal mother. B. Not realizing that they themselves have brought about this disappointment, they become aggressive, seemingly in self-defense, pseudo-aggression. C. They then indulge in self-pity, unconsciously enjoying psychic masochism. This can happen only to me. Consciously, these neurotics realize only their righteous indignation and self-pity. They repress the fact of initial provocation as well as that of masochistic enjoyment of self-pity. Sixth, to be continued.